Hello once again, this is Tom,
Amanda.
Christy.
and we are here for talking about creative and critical. As you see, we're doing this in a classroom. We're going to be talking about creative and critical thinking today. Um, one of the major points that they talk about in creative and critical thinking is is being more of a guide on the side is supposed to be the stage on the stage, like letting the kids kind of figure out, like if you have a kid that like does like outside the box thinking, don't like crimp the style. Let him actually work it out on his own and figure it out the way he's going to figure it out.
I think the hard thing too is that kids are always looking for the one right answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think what's difficult about getting them to be creative and critical thinking, even by the time they get to us in the first grade, they've had a whole year of, or even more from preschool, what is the answer you want me to give? And I actually kind of tried last year, our math specialist, Ms. Weisgarber, was talking about like learning how to add and subtract through exploration. So I put like a word problem up on the board and had the kids tell me, how would you find the answer? And of course, the first, my GE kids, my kids labeled gifted, all they were saying was the answer, and they couldn't explain how they got it. They're like, well, because 5 plus 2 is 7. And you're like, well, how did you figure that out? Yeah, they're like, because it is.
Right.
And we eventually came up with, I think, like 7 strategies on the first day of addition, but it took a long time.
Oh, I bet.
And it was hard as a teacher because you want to say, well, you can count on, you can use your number line.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think it's difficult for teachers as well because, we learned in a certain way. Like, no, this is how you do it, and remembering, wait, let me step back and see what they're going to come up with. It's better for them in the long run, easier for them to remember things later, and it's more meaningful if they are able to think about things creatively, because everything is not black and white. There isn't just one way to do something. And
Yeah.
I think we do them a disservice, and I see this a lot, is that teachers do. They are looking for kids to give them that one answer because it shows, you got what I was saying. And when you go about the creative process, you may not be sure until the very end that they got what you were saying. So you wonder, okay, are they really getting it, or are we just going down this wild goat path that is going to take us nowhere, and we just wasted all of this time, and you just don't know. And it's hard to give up that control, I think, and let them run with it. But
No, I agree. I agree with you on that. Like, when as a teacher, you're thinking like, all right, this is the best way to get the answer, and but the best way might not be the same the way that Billy or Susie gets it, but they get the right answer. But sometimes the way they get the right answer might not always be the right way to get it anyways. So you got to that's why you have to make sure you find out how they're doing it and how they're getting the right answer. Who knows? Maybe they got it by blind luck. You don't know that. Some of the other we also talked about some strategies. One was one of course is brainstorming, which is what I like to call taking stuff, throw it on the wall, and see if it works.
I think the same thing like brainstorming is difficult for the little ones, and it takes practice. And even with us, it takes practice, and it takes a couple minutes. What's hard for people like me, who is to take a minute to slow down and really think about it, instead of just you're talking to your kids and they're just throwing stuff out there, and then sometimes they completely miss what you're trying to even get them to think. You're like, no, that has nothing to do.
Right.
So they'll be like, what about this and this?
It's
like that's not even close to what you're supposed to be talking about. Then there's another one. The one I like is it's the forced one, where basically you take two random things and basically go put them together. Like take like a house and a car and say put them together and figure out how to put them together. And it's really cool. Like I was looking around because it's part of our project part of our project. That's my specialty field is talking about like strategies and stuff like that. It was really awesome. Like I found this website and they talked about like they combined motorcycles and houses, and these second grade kids were like coming up with ideas to combine the two, and it was really cool. Like seeing some of the results.
Yeah, I think that I mean, if we don't do things like that or teach kids how to think that way, how are we ever going to get anything new?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, an
So
invention is a brand new idea, right? So
Right.
And
I do that with my kids, and I try to encourage that creativity. And I hear a lot of times, "Oh, I can't." And I'm like, well, all of those wonderful things that we enjoy just came out of someone's head. You never know.
Yeah.
Where your thoughts are going to lead you, but if you don't play with them and explore them, then you will never know.
Exactly.
And we might miss out on the next best thing that people, makes life better, makes it easier, makes it more interesting. If you don't just say it, because they're afraid of giving the wrong answer, right?
Yeah.
Or what I think is going to be the wrong answer, or what their friend might think. Oh, that's a crazy answer. They're afraid to say it, and I think part of that is because sometimes the way we teach, and we don't necessarily give them that room, or the creativity, or thinking about things critically. We want A, B, C, or D. Just circle the bubble.
right.
And we don't give them the critical. Really break it down, think about it, stretch it out, see what you can do with it.
That's why, I really like the one that we did in class where we had to generate 10 ideas about one topic, and then there were 4 topics. And I mean, by the time, just like Dr. Abel said, by the time we got to the 4th one, we were throwing out a lot more wilder ideas than the first time because we were getting comfortable with thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
And think at how far you could go with kids when one thing that I want to focus on is how to teach them how to write stories, because I feel like they don't know how to write a story in the first grade.
Right.
And that idea generator is a really cool way. Look at all the different ways you can match it up in character, setting, place.
Right.
Exactly.
And then when you get down to the 10th idea of place, I mean, that's going to be a lot more unobvious than the number 1, because of course you're going to say the obvious answers first.
Right.
So I think that those are all really cool methods for any child to learn how to generate ideas. But we got to practice.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and stop it right here. We will be back